10 red flags. If she does these things, walk away immediately. Psychology tricks. Gentlemen, here's the blunt truth most men learn too late. The price of overlooking warning signs isn't just a bruised ego, it's wasted years, drained energy, and a peace of mind you'll struggle to rebuild. As Maya Angelou put it, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. If a woman consistently displays certain behaviors, your job is not to argue with the evidence or wait for a miracle. Your job is to protect your standards, your time, and your sanity. This isn't bitterness, it's boundaries. Men in their mid-30s through their 70s have seen enough life to know patterns matter more than promises. Psychology calls it the sunk cost fallacy when you keep investing because you've already invested. Don't let that trap you. When the signs appear, you don't negotiate them away, you act. Not tomorrow. Not after one last talk. You walk. In this guide, we're going to break down 10 non-negotiable red flags and pair each with clear, real-world examples so you can spot them quickly and respond decisively. Think of this as a playbook for self-respect. See the pattern, trust your judgment, and move on with your dignity intact. Your future is too valuable to gamble on the hope that the wrong person will suddenly become right. 1. She constantly disrespects you. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't excuse it. Don't tell yourself it's just her personality. Respect isn't optional. It's the ground floor of every healthy relationship. Without it, love becomes manipulation dressed up in nice words. That's the brutal truth. When a woman repeatedly disrespects you, it's not about one offhand joke or a sarcastic jab. It's a consistent pattern that slowly chips away at your identity. Take Bill, 47, who worked long days as a mechanic to provide for himself and his family. At every party, his girlfriend would laugh at his career, calling him just a car guy while pointing to other men with corporate jobs. At first, Bill laughed along, telling himself it didn't matter. But over time, those tiny cuts bled into his confidence until he started questioning if his work, his skills, even his existence had real value. That's how female psychology works. Constant belittling creates conditioning. You don't just hear the insult. Your brain internalizes it, accepts it, and starts treating it as reality. That is one of the oldest psychology tricks in the book. Repeat something often enough, and people believe it. And if you think this is about love, it's not. A woman who tears you down doesn't love you. She controls you. Love without respect is counterfeit. It's a cage with velvet bars. Here's the kicker. Disrespect rarely starts big. It's the little digs, the eye rolls, the harmless jokes that build into a fortress of contempt. And the more you let it slide, the more she believes she can get away with it. Don't let her. Be the man who values himself. Be the man who understands that walking away is power, not weakness. Because when you tolerate disrespect, you send one loud, clear message: my dignity is negotiable. And once she knows that, she will never truly admire you again. Respect and attraction are linked. You can't have one without the other. Psychology tricks can teach you how to fall in love, but nothing can keep love alive if respect is missing. Think about it. Do you want to spend the next 20 years with a woman who sees your worth, honors your efforts, and believes in your potential? Or with someone who slowly poisons your self-esteem, one sarcastic comment at a time? If she cannot respect you, she cannot love you. That's not opinion. That's reality. And the longer you stay, the harder it becomes to leave, because you've already been trained, like Pavlov's dog, to crave her approval even as she insults you. That's the dangerous loop of female psychology at play. So here's my advice. Don't defend it. Don't rationalize it. Don't tell yourself she'll change. She won't. Be decisive. Be clear. Walk away the moment you see the pattern. Because leaving a disrespectful woman isn't giving up. It's leveling up. It's proving to yourself that your peace, your dignity, and your future matter more than her cheap validation. And when you do, you'll discover something powerful. Women respect the man who respects himself first. That is the ultimate psychology trick in love. You teach others how to treat you by the standards you enforce. 2. She plays mind games. Gentlemen, let's be brutally honest. Nothing drains a man's spirit faster than a woman who thrives on games. Mind games are not clever, not cute, and certainly not the mark of real intimacy. They are toxic manipulation. A woman who plays them thrives on uncertainty, dangling affection like a prize you have to earn by guessing her next move. One day she's warm, the next she's cold. She disappears without explanation, only to resurface and watch how fast you'll chase her. Or worse, she stirs jealousy, posting photos with other men, forgetting to answer your calls, then shrugging it off with a sly smile. John, a 52-year-old man who thought he had found love, once shared how the woman he dated would cancel plans at the last minute, then flaunt herself online at a party with other men. When he confronted her, she laughed and said, "Relax, I just wanted to see if you'd miss me." That's not romance. That's cruelty disguised as affection. From a psychology perspective, this tactic is called intermittent reinforcement. It's the same principle casinos use to keep gamblers glued to slot machines. You never know when you'll hit the jackpot, so you keep feeding quarters. She gives you just enough affection to keep you hooked, then pulls away so you'll fight harder for her approval. But the truth is brutal. The more you play this game, the more you lose. You lose your peace of mind, you lose your time, and eventually, you lose your self-respect. A high-value man does not gamble his dignity just to win scraps of attention. He knows that love should not feel like a slot machine. Here's the contrast you must see clearly. A woman who truly cares about you won't need to test your loyalty through schemes. She won't force you to prove yourself with endless hoops. She will show consistency, kindness, and a willingness to build something real. That is connection. That is partnership. But a woman who constantly disappears, flirts with jealousy, or mocks your feelings. She is not nurturing your masculine energy, she's draining it. And every day you stay, you allow her to chip away at your confidence. Be warned, what starts as a small test quickly turns into a pattern of control. And the longer you tolerate it, the harder it becomes to walk away. So ask yourself this hard question: do you want to be her partner or her puppet? Because the strings she pulls are designed to weaken you, not strengthen you. A high-value man doesn't dance to anyone's manipulative tune. He recognizes the game, calls it for what it is, and has the courage to leave the table. That's the kind of masculine energy that attracts women who respect you, not women who toy with you. Don't settle for a circus when what you need is a cathedral. Don't let yourself become the gambler chasing the next jackpot kiss. That's not love. It's addiction dressed up as romance. Walking away is not weakness. Walking away is strength. It ends the game and frees you to meet someone who doesn't need to test your love, because real love never demands proof. And here's the ultimate psychology trick: the moment you refuse to play, you win. You reclaim your time, your dignity, and your freedom to attract women who see your worth without games. That is the victory every man deserves. Men, if this lesson on spotting mind games helped you, make sure to like this video, share it with a friend who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more psychology tricks that protect your heart and mind. Real strength is knowing when to walk away from manipulation and choosing self-respect over games. Comment below to remember: I choose respect over mind games. 3. She's addicted to attention. Gentlemen, let me be blunt. If she is addicted to attention, you must walk away immediately. Attention is the most expensive currency you own, and a woman who cannot live without it will drain you dry. Think of Robert, age 39, who dated a woman that couldn't sit through dinner without checking her phone, who posted revealing pictures for strangers to admire, and who dismissed his concerns with a laugh, saying, "It's just harmless fun." Don't be fooled. That is not harmless. That is a red flag waving in your face. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If her thoughts are obsessed with likes, comments, and followers, her soul is changed to the shallow approval of the crowd. And here's the truth: you cannot outlove, outgive, or outcompete an addiction. Your love will never be enough to fill the bottomless pit of insecurity. A woman with an iron mind and true self-respect values your attention because it comes from a man she honors, not because it boosts her online ego. A woman addicted to validation is like a gambler in a casino. The more chips she gets, the more she throws away. The cycle never ends. Old Stoic wisdom tells us to guard what is within our control and let go of what is not. You cannot control her appetite for strangers' approval. You cannot fix it. You must have the discipline to protect your own energy. You must have the courage to walk away. Seneca said, "He who is greedy is always in want." The same applies here. The more she feeds on attention, the hungrier she becomes. Do not let yourself become another casualty in her endless search for validation. In modern life, this red flag is even louder. Social media makes it easier for her to keep chasing attention without consequences. Don't rationalize it. Don't excuse it. Don't stay. A high-value man knows his worth. A man of Stoicism knows his time. Peace and love are treasures not to be thrown into a bottomless pit. You must choose wisely. You must demand respect. You must insist on loyalty. Ask yourself, do you want to compete with her phone, her followers, and her appetite for endless validation? Or do you want a woman who treasures your presence as more valuable than any notification? Let's be real, you cannot buy peace by tolerating chaos. You cannot earn loyalty from someone who is loyal to her own ego. And you cannot master life if you keep surrendering to red flags. Stand firm. Protect your energy. Guard your heart. Choose the path of wisdom, the path of an iron mind. That is how you win. That is how you live with strength, dignity, and victory. That is Stoicism win in action. 4. She has no accountability. One of the most dangerous red flags you must never ignore is when a woman has no accountability, because without it, every fight, every mistake, every problem somehow becomes your fault, and that is a prison disguised as a relationship. Think of Mark, 61, who spent a decade with a woman who never once admitted she was wrong. He always ended up apologizing, even when he was the one who was hurt. If the dishes weren't done, she blamed him for not reminding her. If she overspent on the credit card, she said it was because he wasn't making enough money. This is not love. This is manipulation wrapped in female psychology, and it is one of the oldest psychology tricks in the book. A woman who refuses to take responsibility is showing you that she values her ego more than the relationship, and instead of building a partnership, she is using you as her permanent scapegoat. From a psychological perspective, this behavior often stems from narcissism or deep insecurity. She feels that admitting a mistake makes her weak, so she projects all blame onto others. But here's the reality. A man with masculine energy and self-respect cannot afford to be the emotional garbage bin for someone else's immaturity. Be clear, accountability is not optional. It is the glue that holds two people together, because without it, there is no growth, no repair, no future, just endless circles of blame. You must ask yourself, do you want to spend your life constantly apologizing for things you did not do? Or do you want a woman who owns her flaws, learns, and grows with you? Remember, relationships thrive when both partners admit mistakes and work together, because that is how to fall in love in a way that lasts. Without accountability, her refusal to grow becomes your daily burden, crushing your spirit until you no longer recognize yourself. Don't make the mistake of thinking you can fix her. If she hasn't learned to accept fault by now, she won't learn just because you love her harder. That is the trap so many men fall into, confusing endurance with loyalty. But loyalty without accountability is nothing but slow self-destruction. Don't waste 10 years like Mark did. Be decisive, protect your peace, and walk away immediately. A high-value man understands this truth. It is better to be alone than chained to someone who will never admit they are wrong. Don't wait for one more fight, one more excuse, one more cycle of blame, because every day you stay, you trade a piece of your freedom for her denial. That is not how to fall in love. That is how to lose yourself. So be firm, be wise, and remember this final rule. If she never takes responsibility, she is not your partner, she is your problem. And a man who values his life, his time, and his masculine energy must never live with a problem that refuses to solve itself. Walk away and do it without hesitation. If this opened your eyes, like the video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember, accountability is the foundation of real love. 5. She disrespects your time. Time is the one currency you can never earn back. A high value man knows this truth in his bones. Money can be replaced, opportunities can be rebuilt, but once an hour is gone, it's gone forever. If a woman constantly disrespects your time, you must see it for what it is, a red flag wrapped in shiny paper. Kevin, 45, learned this lesson the hard way. He sat in a restaurant for 3 long hours while his girlfriend finished shopping. No apology, no accountability. Just an entitled shrug that said, "That's what boyfriends do." That is not love. That is exploitation. And if you tolerate it once, you're teaching her that your masculine energy, your schedule, your very presence are disposable. Don't ever send that message. A woman who truly values you will treat your time with the same respect she treats her own. She'll know you have commitments, priorities, and goals, and she'll want to support them, not trample over them. Psychology tricks often reveal subtle truths, consistent lateness, repeated last-minute cancellations, and a casual attitude toward your hours are signals of self-absorption. It's her subconscious telling you her needs always come before yours. Don't ignore that message. Don't rationalize it away. If she doesn't respect your time now, she will never respect your life later. She'll expect you to rearrange everything for her whims while offering nothing solid in return. And here's the deeper truth. Respect for time is respect for the man. When she shows up late without concern, she's telling you, in action not words, that you are not a priority. That is not partnership. That is a slow erosion of your dignity. A high-value man protects his time the way a lion protects his territory. Why? Because a man who wastes his time wastes his life. And no amount of attraction, charm, or promises can cover up the fact that she's stealing hours you'll never get back. Ask yourself this. Do you want to grow old with someone who sees you as a placeholder or someone who treasures every moment by your side? A woman who wants to attract women like you, men of substance, men of maturity, will never play games with your schedule. She'll be excited to see you. She'll plan ahead. She'll respect the clock because she respects the man. That is the mark of someone who deserves your masculine energy. Gentlemen, don't compromise here. Don't let love blind you to neglect. Don't wait around hoping she'll change. If she disrespects your time today, she'll disrespect your dreams tomorrow. Walk away with your head high, because a man who knows his worth never begs for basic respect. Remember this law of life. If she wastes your time, don't waste your life. That is the standard of a high-value man. 6. She brings constant drama. Men, listen closely. If a woman manufactures constant drama, don't rationalize it, don't label it passion, don't make excuses. Walk away before it burns down your peace. Because in your 40, 50, and 60, your time, health, and legacy are too valuable to waste on chaos. That is the lesson here, and it's non-negotiable. David, 55, told me his girlfriend turned every week into a cliffhanger. Small slights became courtroom trials, family gatherings became battlegrounds, and even text threads looked like alarm sirens. At first, he mistook the volatility for chemistry. Then he noticed the fatigue in his face, the tension in his shoulders, the dread before every call. Psychology calls this emotional dysregulation. People who never learn to regulate their inner storms create outer ones to feel alive, and if you stay, you become the sandbag against her flood, not the partner in her growth. Don't accept that role. Old Stoic wisdom is brutally clear. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, Marcus Aurelius. That is your North Star. Build an iron mind. When she escalates, your body keeps the score. Sleep shrinks, patience thins, productivity dips, friendships fade. In modern life, chaos hides in plain sight. Endless Insta stories baiting jealousy, cryptic Facebook posts fishing for attention, late-night arguments launched from a single, like group chat theatrics designed to force you into rescue mode. Don't take the bait. As Seneca warned, anger is a brief madness. A relationship that runs on that fuel is a slow-motion crush. You must protect your nervous system like it's $1 million asset, because it is. Let's get practical. First, run the calm test. Does your blood pressure rise when her name pops up on your phone? If yes, that is your answer. Second, watch the pattern, not the promise. Dramatic people apologize poetically and repeat predictably. Third, set a boundary with a consequence you will actually enforce. If you scream, I leave the conversation. If you smear me online, I end the relationship. Fourth, meet reality in public. Invite her into your real world, kids' birthdays, dinners with close friends, work events, and observe whether she seeks harmony or spotlights. Fifth, track recovery time. Healthy partners de escalate, drama addicts escalate, rewrite history, and recruit bystanders. In every step, Old Stoic wisdom applies. Choose response over reaction, order over noise, clarity over confusion. This is Stoicism winning by refusing to play a losing game. Remember the adage, if it costs you your peace, it's too expensive. Don't pay with your future. You must also audit your own appetites. Are you addicted to the high-low cycle because it feels like youth, novelty, danger? Be honest. An iron mind doesn't chase fireworks. It guards the hearth. In your later years, victory is not louder pleasure. Victory is quieter power, calm mornings, deep work, strong friendships, a home that feels like a sanctuary. That is the true flex. Let's repeat the core principle from many angles so it sticks. Don't normalize chaos. Don't fund it. Don't heal it for her. Don't let drama park in your calendar, your home, or your head. You must require accountability, not theater, change, not promises, calm, not suspense. As Marcus wrote, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Curate those thoughts by curating your company. In practical terms, if she picks fights during your child's milestones, trashes your schedule before big meetings, or weaponizes silence to control you, and the scene, and the pattern, and, if necessary, end the relationship. Old Stoic wisdom says the obstacle becomes the way when you face it with virtue. So face it. Say no to chaos. Say yes to order. This is Stoicism win in action. You win by keeping your frame, not by winning every argument. Build an iron mind that refuses to be jerked around by provocation, dopamine spikes, or social media drama. Your life is a long game, not a highlight reel. Don't negotiate your peace. Don't gamble your legacy. Don't confuse adrenaline for love. Choose the woman who brings calm, balance, and support, or choose solitude until you find her. That is mastery. That is freedom. That is how a man with an iron mind lives and wins. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us. Or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. 7. She compares you to other men. Gentlemen, let me spell it out clearly. If she constantly compares you to other men, that's not love, that's disrespect, and you must recognize it before it poisons your soul. Take Michael, 40, who endured a girlfriend reminding him that her ex took her to finer restaurants or that her boss was more ambitious. At first, he laughed it off, but eventually, those words carved into his self-worth like a knife. Don't underestimate this behavior. In female psychology, this is one of the most manipulative psychology tricks because it's not about motivating you. It's about controlling you through insecurity. The truth is simple. When a woman says, "Why can't you be more like him?" she's not inviting growth. She's telling you that he is not enough. And the more you chase her approval, the more you lose yourself. Comparison is not inspiration. It is humiliation in disguise. That is the reality. You must see it for what it is. Don't think it's harmless venting, don't rationalize it as a phase, and don't excuse it as just her way of expressing herself. Be aware that this behavior is corrosive, and over time, it makes you feel like a shadow of another man instead of the high-value man you truly are. Remember what Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If her words constantly paint you as second best, your spirit will eventually accept that lie unless you stop it. Men between 35 and 70 often fall into this trap because they confuse compromise with self-betrayal, thinking if they just adjust, she'll finally appreciate them. But let me be blunt, if she doesn't value you now, she never will, and no amount of effort will rewrite her view of you. That is the hard truth about female psychology. You cannot teach gratitude to someone determined to belittle you. If her language is built on comparisons, she's showing you her mindset, and mindset rarely changes. Ask yourself, do you want to spend your years proving your worth to someone who doesn't see it? Or do you want to stand strong as a man who knows exactly how to fall in love with the right woman, one who values your presence as it is? You are not in competition with her ex, her boss, or some fantasy image she conjures. You are in competition only with yourself, and your mission is to protect your peace, not gamble it away for crumbs of validation. Think about modern life. Social media amplifies comparison culture, feeding the illusion that there's always a better man, a richer man, a more exciting man. But don't let that trap redefine your value. A woman who constantly compares is telling you she lives in scarcity, not gratitude, and you cannot build love on scarcity. A high value man never tolerates being someone's second choice. Be decisive. Be unshakable. Walk away. Because if you accept those comparisons, you accept disrespect, and disrespect is the seed that kills attraction. The psychology tricks women sometimes play are clever, but they are not invisible once you train your eyes to see them. Don't play her game. Don't compete with ghosts. Don't lose yourself trying to meet standards she doesn't even respect. Be the man who knows when to stay and when to walk away, because your confidence, your dignity, and your masculine energy are worth far more than any comparison. If she can't stop comparing, you must stop listening. That is the line in the sand. Walk away immediately, because a man who refuses to tolerate disrespect is the man who truly understands how to fall in love the right way, with a woman who values him for who he is, not for who he is not. 8. She doesn't value your effort. Every healthy relationship is built on gratitude, and without it, the foundation crumbles. When a man invests his time, energy, and love, a good woman will not only notice it, but honor it, because she knows that appreciation is love in action. But when she doesn't value your effort, when she takes it for granted, that's a dangerous red flag you cannot ignore. Tom, 67, is a perfect example. For years, he fixed everything around the house, planned thoughtful dates, stood by his partner when she struggled in her career, and poured his heart into making her life easier. Yet not once did she look him in the eyes and say, "Thank you." Instead, she demanded more money, more time, more energy, like he was an endless resource. Tom realized too late that he was pouring into a cup with no bottom. That is not love. That is exploitation dressed up as companionship. From a psychological perspective, this isn't just about forgetfulness. It's entitlement. Female psychology shows that when a woman consistently fails to appreciate effort, she often believes she deserves it simply because she exists in your life. That mindset is poison to intimacy. Gratitude is not optional, it's the oxygen of relationships. Without it, resentment builds silently. It eats away at the bond until there's nothing left but bitterness. A high-value man must see this for what it is, a warning that your masculine energy is being drained without respect or return. Don't make the mistake of thinking she will change tomorrow. She won't. If she cannot value your effort today, she won't suddenly wake up grateful next week. Be very clear with yourself. If your sacrifices are invisible to her now, they'll stay invisible. The right woman will light up even at your smallest gestures. A cup of coffee, a kind word, fixing a squeaky door, she'll recognize those acts as tokens of love. The wrong woman will act as if your devotion is never enough, no matter how much you give. That is why you must guard your energy with the same vigilance you'd guard your finances. Ask yourself honestly, do you want to spend years giving everything while receiving nothing in return? Do you want to keep pouring your masculine energy into a black hole, hoping that one day she might finally notice? Or do you want a relationship where your effort matters, where you feel seen, valued, and respected as the high-value man you are? Relationships are not about keeping score, but they are about balance. When one partner gives endlessly while the other only takes, imbalance destroys connection. Remember this, appreciation is not just politeness, it is proof of love. Without appreciation, there is no recognition of your worth. And if she cannot recognize your worth, she cannot truly love you. A man who respects himself, a man who wants to attract women who are emotionally mature, must be ready to walk away from anyone who cannot value his effort. That is how you protect your dignity. That is how you protect your time. And that is how you protect your peace of mind. Don't settle for less. Be decisive. Be strong. Value yourself enough to walk away. If you recognize the importance of being valued in a relationship, comment below right now. I deserve appreciation and respect. Like this video, subscribe for more wisdom on how to build a relationship that honors your worth, and remember, love is built on gratitude, not entitlement. 9. She's overly controlling. Let me speak with absolute clarity. When a woman becomes overly controlling, you must recognize it for what it is, an assault on your freedom, your dignity, and your peace of mind. Relationships are meant to feel like liberty, not a prison sentence. Yet countless men hand over their independence piece by piece, mistaking domination for love. Frank, 58, shared how his girlfriend demanded access to his phone every night, dictated his schedule, and even told him which friends he could no longer see. At first, he thought it was caring, but soon he realized it was nothing less than suffocation. The Old Stoic wisdom teaches us that no man is free who is not master of himself, Epictetus. That is the point. You cannot call yourself free if you've surrendered the keys of your life to someone else. Psychology tells us that controlling behavior often springs from deep insecurity and fear of abandonment. But no matter the origin, the effect is always the same. You lose your identity, your independence, your joy. Ask yourself, are you her partner or her prisoner? If you constantly find yourself explaining, defending, or begging for permission, you are not in a relationship. You are in captivity. And captivity is never love. It is domination disguised as affection. Don't fall for it. Don't excuse it. Don't tolerate it. Marcus Aurelius, a man who embodied Stoicism once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Apply this iron mind to your relationships. Guard your freedom like treasure, because once it's lost, it is nearly impossible to reclaim without scars. Modern life already demands enough from you: work deadlines, financial pressures, family obligations. Why add a partner who polices your every move? You've worked decades to carve out stability, respect, and independence. Why hand it over to someone who treats you like a child instead of a man? A healthy woman trusts. She doesn't need to monitor, dictate, or manipulate. Love without trust isn't love, it's control with lipstick. Don't let anyone rewrite your script or shrink your world. You must be the man who says, enough. You must be the man who knows that true attraction comes from strength, not submission. Gentlemen, don't wait for things to get worse. Don't justify her behavior by saying she just cares. Don't imagine you can fix it. That is the trap many fall into, wasting years in the name of love that was never love. Instead, stand firm. Walk away when control replaces trust. Walk away when affection turns into interrogation. Walk away when freedom is stolen in the name of closeness. Remember, the goal of a relationship is to elevate both partners, not to enslave one. Old Stoic wisdom tells us that happiness is found in aligning with virtue and living according to reason. Virtue never demands submission. Reason never asks you to abandon your identity. With Stoicism in your corner and an iron mind to protect your boundaries, you will not only attract women worthy of your strength, but also build a life defined by freedom, respect, and authentic love. Don't settle for being her captive. Be the man who values himself enough to choose liberty over chains, trust over suspicion, and dignity over domination. That is the path to victory. That is the way of the iron mind. That is how a real man wins. 10. She has no empathy. When a woman shows no empathy, gentlemen, that is not just a small personality quirk. It is a glaring red flag that cuts to the very heart of what makes a relationship meaningful. Empathy is not some soft, optional trait. It is the glue that binds two souls together, the invisible thread that lets you know you're not walking through life alone. Without it, a relationship becomes nothing more than a transaction, two people existing side by side, but never truly connected. Take Richard, age 44, for example. When his father died suddenly, his girlfriend's response was not comfort, not understanding, not even a hand on his shoulder. Instead, she coldly remarked, "Everyone loses someone eventually. You'll be fine." That sentence was like salt poured on an open wound. Her lack of empathy hurt him more deeply than the death itself. Men, this is where female psychology reveals something crucial. A woman without empathy cannot attach to your spirit. She can laugh with you during the highs, but when the lows arrive, as they always will, she will emotionally vanish, leaving you to drown alone. From the lens of psychology tricks, empathy is tied directly to emotional intelligence, and emotional intelligence is the foundation of intimacy, trust, and resilience in love. A woman without it will dismiss your feelings, minimize your challenges, and may even mock your vulnerabilities. Over time, you will unconsciously train yourself to hide your pain because you'll believe she doesn't care, or worse, you'll think you're weak for showing emotions. That is the psychological trap, believing that hiding your struggles makes you strong. But here's the truth. Real strength lies not in burying your emotions, but in being with someone who respects them, validates them, and stands with you in the fire. To hide your emotions is to build a prison around your own heart, and that prison will eventually suffocate you. A woman who cannot empathize will make you feel smaller, lonelier, and colder, even when she's sitting right beside you. This is where wisdom meets reality. When life hits you hard, and it always does, you must ask yourself a hard question. Do you want to face those battles with a partner who holds your hand, or with a woman who looks the other way? Female psychology has shown us again and again that without empathy, even physical closeness cannot heal emotional distance. The great gift of human beings is that we have the power of empathy, said Meryl Streep. If she lacks that gift, she cannot share in your victories or soothe your defeats. She may look attractive, she may be fun at parties, but when the storm comes, she'll leave you emotionally bankrupt. And that, my friends, is not how to fall in love. It is how to fall into despair. Don't deceive yourself by thinking she'll change. Don't excuse her coldness by saying she's just not good with emotions. That is self-betrayal. That is you teaching yourself to accept less than you deserve. The reality is clear. A relationship without empathy is like a house without a foundation. It may look fine on the surface, but the first storm will bring it crashing down. Be decisive. Be disciplined. That is what it means to be a high-value man. You must guard your peace, your time, and your heart. You must walk away the moment you realize she lacks empathy. Because the kindest thing you can do for yourself, the strongest, most masculine choice you can make, is to refuse to invest in a woman who cannot connect with your humanity. A woman who feels nothing for your struggles can never truly walk with you through life. If she cannot feel with you, she cannot love you. And if she cannot love you, the only path left is the door. Walk away immediately and never look back. That is the ultimate psychology trick, knowing when to stop investing in a losing game and instead invest in yourself. Brothers, before we wrap this up, let me leave you with this. Life is too short to waste on someone who disrespects you or drains your energy. Don't convince yourself that red flags will turn green with time. They won't. Your peace of mind, your time, and your dignity are worth more than any relationship that keeps you stuck in pain. So take a step back, look honestly at where you stand, and don't be afraid to choose yourself. Walking away is not weakness, it's strength, it's wisdom, and it's the key to finding real love that lifts you up instead of breaking you down. Thank you for spending this time with me, my friends. If this message spoke to you, let me know in the comments which red flag stood out the most to you. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a brother who needs to hear this today. Take care of yourselves, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.